the second team to ban always has to ban Cassidy if you're not like first pick, because they're, I don't know, it's just kind of an accepted rule now.
The thing is, like, I always questioned that. If you're like, is Cassidy, I mean, maybe this is true, but if Cassidy was like the best champion in the game and you can never build a comp or champion that beats it, I feel like that's like the severity of that champion is overstated. But they just, whatever, it's one ban, we won't deal with it.
I think what it is that, especially in competitive, just the small edge will mean like a huge difference.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're going to win 100% of the games that you're Cassidy.
Sure.
But even just that small advantage that you're giving up by not banning that champion, that's why nobody does it. Their thing is, though, you know, nobody practices Cassidy
anymore. Yeah, none of these guys have solo queue.
It's not like a champion in the game anymore since it's always banned.
Yeah.
How long does it take for all the mid laners to just be really bad at Cassidy?
It's probably now.
It'll take like a long time. It must be like a year.
It's probably now. Like,
it's not that hard.
Watch it not get banned. And, like, I mean, Twisted Fate disappeared for a while, and just like everyone forgot, and then Reginald started locking blue cards.
What?
Like, I'm just saying, this stuff happens. Like, I remember.
You just have to slip that Reggie burn in.
What happened with Dignitas too? They had Kiwi Kid play Twisted Fate, and Scara played something else.
I do like that switch where they have a flexible top lane or something that can just swing mid when you need a different champion set.
Yeah, I actually like that a lot. I know it's one that the tournament actually did. They ran back in the promo tournament. They ran Kha'Zix mid from West Rice. But we're into this game. Let's move forward.
Same exact beginning here.
Yep.
We've got a jungle Lee Sin on the other side.
Yeah.
So they're taking it away from Cloud9, and in response, I'm going to grab that Caitlyn and Leona so that we have the same lane.
Yeah.
That we had last game.
So things that surprised me a little bit, things I'm going to think about, no vibe ban this time around. So C9E didn't like try to pinch all the junglers and steal away Lee this time, which was, by the way, Kikis' favorite jungler so far. So instead it's like, well, we'll just get rid of Elise. They have Vi back here for Q whenever they want it. The Mundo Lulu's still going to be picked up here, and Lulu's like the only other support that Elendix has been playing other than Leona. So Cloud9 say, you know what, Void did good enough. We're going to keep that denial.
You know what we're seeing here on this Pulse team? I mean, they've got Lee Sin, Dragon Kick, and Lulu Knockup are both pretty good sources of knockups for Yasuo. And he is on the board. As we said, he's available once again. I really like just like seeing that champion. So anytime we see some sort of setup, I like that possibility. Meanwhile, for Cloud9, the same bottom lane, same top lane, switching out their jungle, Vi for Lee Sin is not going to hurt them at all. Everybody plays Vi in the jungle at competitive level, and her impact, the ganks are going to be just as good, if not better, post level 6. So the same sort of story here going for Cloud9. They don't feel like they have to switch anything up from last game.
Well, we'll see if that pans out for them right here. Pulse might actually change something here. Looking at the same mid lane with Kale for NIQ, maybe a different AD carry there. Seeing, yes, we are fighting a Caitlyn Leona, and so you know what, Jinx too unsafe. Let's grab Lucian. A little bit safer here, so now Cloud9 Eclipse with their choice.
So if they're going to go and switch it over to Lucian, I feel like they want more early combat power down there in the 2v2 situation. So that makes me think that they're going to switch their level 1 and not help the jungler this time. Because as we saw before, the Leona and Caitlyn lane getting there early and getting the early level 2 meant they were constantly shoving them under turret. Have to say, though, Pulse did a great job of CSing under their turret. I thought he was going to lose a lot more CS than he did. Yeah. And they stayed right up there with the Caitlyn and Leona in CS.
So a well-played dual lane. A couple of small changes, but otherwise they're going to look pretty happy. Looks like Cloud9 Eclipse going to make the last couple of seconds for their choices here. Gragas might be locked in, which means C9E, the only champion that's different between the jungler, picking up Vi instead of Lee Sin. For Pulse, they took the Lee Sin. The only change for them is their AD carries now Lucian. So both these teams were happy with how the previous game went, basically.
I guess this is kind of respect remake of the game, since we didn't really get to play the other one out. Yeah. See how it goes down this time. The only thing around this time, though, Kale can easily ultimate Vi's target. Vi is a giant blinking siren that says, I'm going after this target. You should ult that target now because we're going to hurt this person. So it makes Kale's job really easy here. Just ultimate whoever Vi is going to target.
Especially if she runs the skin. It like will literally be a giant blinking siren.
If she goes with the police skin there. Yeah. The thing is, Cloud9, they can play against that. If Gragas ults Kale away. The range on Kale's ultimate not that long anymore.
It's like 700-ish.
Gragas barrel is actually a really good counterplay to Kale. Just as long as you split those two targets away from each other, then you can still pull off the combo.
Nice. Let's see if they can do it, of course. It's going to be a pretty fun one. A lot of high-skilled players, and they've been pretty well coordinated. A lot of really good ganks. The mid-lane jungle synergy, we talked about that a bunch, but that was really on point for Cloud9 and Eclipse. I want to see the Vi Gragas. See how that one pans out here, trying to punch down Kale. The duo lane, actually, we thought it was going to be big for C9. Went pretty equal. Props to Pulse there. See how that one pans out. Top lane was already won last time. Same lane again. See if C9E still wins that lane.
I really want to see the top lane matchup once again because Shyvana really did a great job last time, even with the slight changes to her damage early. She was still able to pull off exactly what you want from that Shyvana Mundo matchup, shoving him in early, getting an early Blade of the Ruined King, and just drawing a whole bunch of pressure to that top side of the map. Yeah,
he pulled a couple of ganks, got away from him. I'm pleased to report that Ku is, in fact, running Officer Vi, and so is, I know I got yelled at for pronouncing his name wrong. Hjarnan.
Okay, so his name means brain.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it's Swedish, one of those Nordic languages. So we'll just call him Brain from now on, since we don't want to offend anyone. I guess that'll work.
I'm just happy to be offensive.
Okay, we'll stick with Hjarnan then. Since
Officer Caitlin on the case.
I don't know, maybe there's no H sound in it.
That's a good point. Some good dancing from Vi. So the dance-off is here in Game 2 at least. We missed it in the first one.
Now, I definitely prefer Neon Strike Vi just because of the backing animation. But the combat animations for this one are very cool. We will see that blinking siren that will tip off NIQ who he needs to ultimate.
We'll see. So a couple of spammed emotes there.
Oh, my God. That's why they didn't run Jinx this time. They switched it over to Lucian because they're going against the Caitlyn and Vi. They would apprehend her every single time.
Oh, it's true. That would be not okay.
Ooh, they dodged a bullet there.
Yeah.
Switching over to Lucian.
Yeah. Jace gets hard counter by Piltover. I don't know. She's outsmarted a lot of cops too, though. I wonder. I hope there's like a tracker somewhere of cops outsmarted versus criminals apprehended, and who's actually won that battle.
All right, we'll have to see if this police brutality is going to pay off for Cloud9, or if Pulse are going to be able to evade the law.
Well, right now, Ku just taking his red buff, and you're right, they did start topside. So the duo lane's happy to start their lanes early on.
Yes, so both teams making the adaptation this time. They said not only are we going to switch over to Lucian for the early fighting power in the duels down bottom, but we're also going to get there early.
Well, looks like early on, Pulse getting a complete control over this lane. Those should be free kills. Yep, Caitlyn getting them both with the Q. So far, no miss CS in the bottom lane. I got to say, these AD carries doing their jobs right. 10 for 10 so far. 11 for 11. This is intense. Woo! Not missing a single one. Can you do that?
I'm just waiting to see if a support grabs one. Real sneaky-like.
What? That one's low. Oh, gets killed by the Q.
Oh, so the jungle here. We got a little bit of mix-up. Lee Sin actually going from Wolves over to Wraiths. So he's doing 2 small camps before he gets his double buff. Instead of going just to the Wolves into the Lizard, because that will get you level 3. So he's going for a more thorough clear of his jungle here. And he will end up with a bit more money. But Vi has the opportunity to make the first gank. So it'll be very interesting to see how that turns out. Actually, they're both just hard farming now. Vi also returning to the jungle.
Back to her Wolves. So, but she's got a long way to go. Looking to try to run across. Oh, the race came up. Okay, that was well timed.
This Shyvana, though, this Shyvana's not wasting any time. 17-9 already. Taking advantage of the Mundo early.
Yeah. Poor guy. Just on the back foot here. Trying to last hit. Actually, Odomna's not always pushing him around, but he's definitely managed to build a lead for himself. So some good plays there. Ku looking for the mid lane. On top of a ward, though. And IQ should not get caught out here. And won't be.
That's good. He does not waste much time. So one skill as a jungler, you really have to get used to reading people's movements as you approach their lane. Look at this little ring around the rosy here.
This is not ideal.
If Vi misses Vault Breaker, she'll get owned.
Well, gets hit, gets slowed up. As IQ is there first. Yeah. Q is ignited. Yeah, you're going to die. So, and they give the buffs to NIQ.
They did. So double buffs here. We saw this before. Kale had double buffs early in the last game. Well, not that early. this is going to be much more painful. But, man, if you miss your Q on Vi, then you are really weak early. In the early stages of the game, she cannot dual Lee Sin. So as soon as he landed that Q, that's what I was saying. If she misses her Vault Breaker, then she's done for.
Well, and that did not pan out well. Kikis was also level 4 in that fight, giving him a bit of an edge. Is jumped behind Forbidden here as well. Does not have a trinket to jump to, but they might just go for Gragas anyway. Flash Ignite are available. Nope, doesn't do anything with this Lee Sin. Udwamna forced around, still pushing out on this lane. Woolite taking a bit of pain. Lennox trying to zone back here and then not doing a whole bunch for it. Looks like they're going to not do a whole bunch. Ooh, Body Slam lands good damage. NIQ, oh my gosh, 100 health left. He's going to survive.
And he has to flash away. He wanted to flash finish that kill, but Lee Sin showing up just saved NIQ's life. Here's see if Q can answer, though.
Does have flash. Vault Breaker. Oh, gets it. But now the buffs. Can he keep them alive? Kikis on the chase. Low energy, though.
Gragas coming for support.
Lands the Q. This could be painful. Kikis picks up 1. Now trying to run away. 130 health.
No flash.
Now 80. Forbidden. Can you land a Q or a Body Slam?
Negative.
No. Close, though.
All right, a lot of action in this mid, the way we like it. And bottom as well.
Here and then pop in the barrier. Burns through most of it. Does not land the Q onto Elendix, though. Gulite going to survive with about 50 health. Elendix forced back. No, gets stunned. They're still chasing him down. And Johanna's like, no, I'm farming, dude. Don't even try.
That is huge for the Leona Caitlyn lane because since they were getting pushed in early, they didn't get to contest. But when Leona makes her first all-in, it really tells a lot about the lane because she can either take a whooping and get so much harassed that they can't go aggressive again, or she can gain a foothold in the lane like she just did. And now they're able to actually pull it back to even ground.
Oh, good stuff then by these guys. Cloud and Eclipse back to holding their lane up, of course. Pulse still with the gold lead. And Q finds NIQ. No flash, no ulti from Kale. Slows down Vi. And it's going to get away pretty safely.
All right. 2 ganks each in mid. I think we're going to see a few more wards in mid and real wards, not just trinket wards. I think they're going to want to have both sides of that river warded up from now on because both the junglers have really shown what type of play style we're looking for here. And they are both camping mid.
Well, they are just going to keep that tent popped right here because we're likely to see them come back again. No buffs onto Forbidden. Didn't get any back.
He did hit level 6, though.
Yes.
So you can see it changes Kale's play completely, knowing that Gragas can knock her back. She's playing so much further back when he shows aggression, and then only moving up when she can actually turn on that Righteous Fury.
Now she's turned that on right now, pushing the waves down a little bit. 4 minion kill lead, very small.
Ooh.
Jumps in Willate, taking some damage, but no follow-up. Void will force her run back around through the minion wave. Easily safe. All right, these guys, I mean, everyone's chomping at the bit to put more damage on.
And you can see whenever it is Caitlyn lane, they like to constantly be auto-attacking to try and build up those big minion waves, because that's where she gains a lot of her power, is fighting in giant minion waves if she can stand next to the ranged creeps and make use of her long auto-attack range.
It's done a good job of making use of a first recall as well. BF Sword already picked up here for Hjarnan. Looks like nothing for Voidal so far. He's actually holding this lane 1v2. It isn't really getting pushed around. He's taking some damage, but like they're letting him stay in XP range. He hasn't backed yet. I wonder what he's gonna get when he does go back.
No, that's pretty bold play from him. I definitely commend him for being able to stay in experience range, and he's also regenning up here pretty well too.
Well, there's no kill threat from Lulu. That's part of it. The only aggressive champion in Lennox's pool is Leona, and they picked it. He can like poke, but like there's no way Leona dies easily. Yeah,
just the slows would be hard to take him out. Since he started Doran's shield. But man, whenever you have a Lucian, yeah, you do have to worry about even a Glitter Lance slow getting you down that in the mid lane. They could get off a good amount of harass.
I get some of it. So we'll see. So far, so good for this Cloud and Eclipse bottom lane. Actually going to be the recall as well for Woolite. Jumping on an NIQ. Good burst. Knocking Kale back. He's still waiting on the ultimate. Forbidden just going to stop putting the harass down. And actually, they trade health bars fairly equally for an ultimate.
He would have been definitely ahead if that last barrel there had taken its toll. But Lee Sin, as soon as you saw them fighting, you could see his rotation up towards that mid because they've been fighting so quickly and so often in that mid lane that they probably thought Vi was going to show up as soon as Gragas went aggressive.
Yeah, so not too much picked up instead. Kikis trying to solo out the dragon. Getting some help from Woolite as well. So Pulse really, they're trying again basically to sneak dragon, and they're getting it this time. No one's even around.
Really great timings. And look at these deep wards that they have in the jungle on both sides. They can be alerted as soon as Vi returns to either side of the jungle from that mid lane. I really like those two wards right now.
They're working very well. They see Q again, this time on the bottom side of the Trinket ward, and Q should know where Vi's coming from. Lee Sin alerted to that presence
They're calling out an invade here. They actually pinged out Kikis.
Well, right now the fight down onto the bottom side. Voidal trying to make Woolite go down. He's trying to really chase him down. Good slow, but he's going to get dodged out. Now Elendix also on the run, but hits a Caitlyn trap. A lot of damage now onto Lulu, who is getting pushed around, has some extra health in the Sight Stone, will survive that battle. Woolite low. Lulu ulti keeps him alive. All right, that seemed a little excessive.
I mean, the Caitlyn ult wouldn't kill him. But I guess it's better to be safe than sorry.
It was like basically back to full
it was
health.
really, really safe.
Yeah, I mean, he's alive.
Vi was heading down towards the bottom, I guess.
Maybe.
But, you know, Vi with her Assault and Battery available, I guess you do have to be a little bit safer from now on. I just think that she would want to use that mid, though, since they've been so intent on that battle.
Well, unfortunately for them, they haven't forced the ulti or the flash out of NIQ's Kayle, so not much is actually happening for that guy.
Yeah, Vi's really having a hard time looking for an opening to go gank, and with 3 members up towards the top side here, it looks like they might even dive a Mundo. He's gone again with the early Giants belt into Kindle Gem, so I guess that's his standard build.
Well, dive on the bottom side of his top and looks for a gank as well. It's going to be the top we actually watch for the jump in. Body Slam lands. Goodbye to Joki's 3-man there. Now on the bottom side, Kikis has shown up to counter gank Voidal, trying to flash away, still taking damage from the cooling kick. Kikis does get that kill, the Ignite making it happen. Kikis now on the way back. Turret killed the top, but Champion killed bottom.
That's a close one right there. You got to be sure that Ignite is going to keep ticking.
Yeah.
When you kick people away with Lee Sin, then you feel terrible if you don't get the kill. But they did trade, so that was bottom support for top laner, and they got the top turret. Really big takedown there for Cloud9.
All right, so a small 300 gold lead now for the favorites in this match. They're up 1-0 in games, and up just a very little bit in this game too right here. Kick is back to his jungle, doing standard stuff, getting the gold going on. Looks like Athene's already done for this Gragas. 0-0-2 for Fabiven, and a bunch of farm. He's having a pretty good game so far.
See if he can start his roam game anytime soon, because they've got dual pink wards. We just saw him push his pink ward in the top bush, and they already have the bottom one covered. So some pretty good control already from Cloud9 as far as those are concerned.
Wow, the knockback on a kick is very low on health. Body Slam's going to land the Q as well. Flashes the wall. Flash for both these guys.
So that's a good trade. You know, you get 2 flashes for 1 there because there was very little time for Cloud9 to communicate and tell each other which one's going to use their flashes. Lee Sin using his, even though he knew he was going to die after, he got 2 in return.
Okay, so that pulls it back a little bit, even more to Cloud9's favor, though. 1,400 gold.
This bottom lane is about to go down, too. So
no one's around to get the gold. They just threw away 100 gold. 150 gold, actually. Scrubs. Huron then forced to run backwards, trying to get back to the Tri-Brush. Should be safe, but oh, there's a Vi. Oh, they baited it. Woolite down to half HP, but no Assault and Battery for 10 seconds.
Yeah, really close to that being his death. When that one comes up, they might just try and take away this blue right off of Kale's body here because, well, no, Fabiven doesn't have his ulti yet.
Soon, though.
Soon, TM.
Ooh, your favorite item. Lizard Elder on Vi.
So, yeah, it's Vi is one of the champions where you really need to decide which one you're going to go between the Lizard Elder and the Golem. Spirit of the Elder Golem. Or
what about Wraith?
Yeah. No, yeah. Freak. Just quit trying to confuse people here. You want to make that decision purely based on the amount of CC that the enemy has. Because there's not a lot of hard CC here for Pulse, then you're free to go damage here because it's an amazing item, very efficient, and you can even stack a Brutalizer on top of that. At that point, you're fairly squishy, though, and you have to change your play as Vi. You got to play different if you're going for damage Vi, whereas if you're going for tank Vi, you can stay in a little bit longer.
See what pans out for him. Right there, Pulse just pushing down the mid lane again. These guys really in the mid lane. Not trading blows. I mean, they have been trading blows, but not to a ton of effect, I suppose. They haven't really dropped down in a while. The bottom lane's a bunch of action. Not many kills from there either, but we'll see another attempt here. Kick
so
around.
The difference here with Lucian going early Trinity Force and Kate going Bloodthirster is Kate has the advantage in these long poke wars because she's just looking for one auto attack when Lucian goes in for his shorter range auto attacks. But Lucian has a huge advantage in the all-ins. And with Lee Sin coming down here, they're trying to force it.
Oh, there's a jump in. 3v2. Stun lands onto 2 people, though. Here on the trying to run away. Good knockup from Lulu. Kick. He flashes it and goes back to his turret. Ku arrives as well. Goes in. This is not a good thing for Woolite. Uh-oh. Gets away. Hjarn then drops down. Voidal going to try to lock up Kikis. Does stun him, but out of turret range. Woolite still getting chased down. Hexed. Ku still picks it up. Kikis, low on health, has Sunlight. Seen by a ward. Fibivin sees NIQ.
There's a minion following Ku as well, so they have vision.
Can they find Lee Sin? Does not have a ward or a trigger to jump to. Just trying to juke the attacks. Boots of mobility are on. He's running quickly. Going now between the turrets.
Take one tower hit here. That's all. Oh, he's toast.
That's a kill picked up. No assist, but Ku gets the kill for it.
Now, the reason Caitlyn did go down is because he got tricked. Lee Sin turned around to fight Leona since it was right next to him. But he was able to throw the Sonic Wave right over his shoulder. Oh, good block right there.
That was
we were
pretty
talking
nice.
about actually using the Kayle ultimate early to block the damage instead of reactionary after you're super low. That exactly right there was the play we're talking about. And I think you can have confidence in NIQ's Kayle now.
Well done here then.
Well,
good job, NIQ.
Yeah, they still lose out on the Dragon here.
Oh,
Great
yeah.
move from Cloud9. The pink wards that we talked about still up, so definitely doing a lot of work here.
Ku not going to find him in a fight. Nothing down there in the jungle or in the river, but Cloud9 Eclipse does. Did they go 1 for 1 in kills overall, I want to say? Maybe 2 for 1. I think they went 2 for 1 in kills overall and got dragons.
Well,
so.
Freak, they overall they went 4 for 5 there.
Oh, thanks.
No problem.
I hate you. You said it was awkward casting with me. I'm just going to make it worse for you now.
I liked how we have the exact same situation top as we had the first game and the exact same builds too. So both of them were just okay with repeating this situation here. Mundo, I guess it's not exactly
Giant
the
spell,
same.
yeah, he's
last time
Sunfire.
he had the Negatron, so he was going with the Spirit Visage first. This
Build
time,
differentiation for Mundo.
a little bit of armor there instead. But, man, rushing right into the Blade of the Ruin King gives him so much pressure, and he's using that pressure well. Not only is he clearing out the waves and putting it onto the turret, but he's also taking that white, which is a whole bunch of money.
It is a whole
65 gold, in fact.
It's a good amount.
Base.
Yeah. Go up over time.
So,
into the 70s or so.
Yeah, there's also something. Did you know? You know how the jungle camps have levels, right? They gain those levels when they spawn.
Yeah.
So if you're behind on the jungle, like you can't just go farm your jungle and expect to catch up immediately. You have to clear it one time, wait for them to respawn at the higher level, and then the second clear is where you really catch up.
What I want to actually look at with those camps is like the ratio of like how much gold and XP do they gain versus the amount of health they gain. Because like, is a level 1 jungle like take 12 seconds and worth almost the same gold?
Well, the amount of time that it takes depends on what champion you are, how much damage you have, what have you built, Freak, like how have you built tank.
So what are you saying is it's complex?
Yeah, yes, that's not a simple answer there.
All right, we'll find out. Guys, let's go on into this game. Sightstone's done on both AD carries. Also, supports. Sightstone's done on the supports. First big item done on both AD carries. Tier 2 gold generation items out as well for these guys. So pretty similar builds, although they're going different ways. They're equally far ahead. If that makes any sense at all.
They just chose a different path there.
Yep.
One of them chose the path of the mountain. One chose the path of ascension.
Yes, they did. Ooh, almost.
I also
like 1v3.
Ooh, there goes Willie. He's free again.
Looks like gonna get away right here. Willie's happy with this one. There's gonna be the pickup. Blue buff goes to Kayle.
He stole both of those small minions.
12 gold. Woo!
The
Bibbin's
Bibbin
rich.
just walking away. Look at that swagger.
Oh,
He's about to get.
Takes a
never
drink.
mind. That's not so bad.
Yeah, it wasn't the worst. He does have some MR. Going soon for a death cap. Only a couple hundred gold away from this one. Ku looking for the mid lane. Will they go into this one? Turret one shot from dead. Gets it. Pharaoh comes across. Pulse can't do much to him.
All right, let's look at this here collapse. Oh, never mind. He's just going to go back to that white that we talked about. So moving towards the mid game once again, since the comps are the same, it's a very similar situation to last game.
Oh,
he does get it. This time he's getting closed in by Kayle, and he does not have his dragon.
He's not a dragon.
Yet.
He flashes. Doesn't go for. If he auto attacks, he get dragon charges. Doesn't matter. NIQ takes him down. Cleaver helping as well. Good kill picked up there by Pulse. Kind of punished the overextension for Odwam, though.
Right. So we were just about to go over the ward coverage, but I guess they beat us to it there. As we go towards the mid game, we will see the same situation here. As you know, all these towers are in favor of Cloud9. You know, they've got 3-1. Then next round, they can actually start sieging up pretty easily, and there's still no hard engage here from the Pulse team.
Yeah.
It's really going to have to be a spectacular play from Lee Sin to try and pull off some nice ward hopping, maybe combo with a Lulu ultimate to keep him safe, for them to actually pull something like that off. So a lot of pressure there, I think, on Lee Sin to make a play in order to force a team fight. Otherwise, they're just going to have to rely on Mundo's like teleporting behind Cloud9 and running in there to land slows.
Let's see what they can find. If they can get the open kills around the map. Hjarnan left alone in the bottom lane. All right, so Dragon's up a minute and a half. That might just be the next thing we actually find in this game.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see the tower dives anytime soon from Cloud9 because Shyvana here has not built armor. Going with the early magic resistance since she's up against Mundo here, that is a good thing there for Pulse. And they have a bit more time before Cloud9 are ready to go for a tower dive. They don't have that person with a tremendous amount of armor right now to be the point man for those dives. Vi coming out of the jungle doesn't really have the health to back up those small pieces that she's been able to accrue.
Yeah. But she does have pretty much all the kill gold on her team. So it's going to be an interesting thing to watch is how well can Cloud9 capitalize on their bigger jungler. Level 12 on that Vi. Mid lane getting swept out. Looks like Odwamna is happy to start playing on other sides of the map, but it's weird. I feel like he's there early because Dragon's set up for 30 seconds. Like you said, I don't think we're going to see them dive for a little while. Oh, the smite game. Nice, Gragas. I think Gragas. Yeah,
so
they didn't got it.
That is a good point because they're allowing Mundo this extra 30 seconds to shove this wave in, and they've created the situation once again for themselves where they're gonna lose damage on this top turret no matter what. And the only choice right now is, do Pulse actually go for the fight? I think that they'll just leave Mundo up top and not have him burn his teleport. They can actually try and just steal it. And if they don't steal it, oh well. If they do steal it, then great, because they get turret and dragon.
All right, well, the fight's going to start right here. Lulu comes across. NIQ gets the ulti on. The teleport comes in from Mundo. Stun onto Lennox, getting forced out of this fight as well. Kayle still on the damage. The ult coming out. Oh, Hjarnan not in a good spot. Trying to kill off Jokies. Can they get him? No, it's a trade kill. He's going to fall down, but Odwamna in the middle of the enemy team is going to drop as well. That's a good fight for Pulse. 2 for 1 in this one.
And Kikis survives with 7 HP right there. Kayle did such a good job, by the way, of kiting the Vi Leona. Really draw a lot of the pressure off the rest of the team and bought time for Mundo to teleport in.
I really like Pulse's play calling there. They're going to go for the dragon in this one. They've got control. Cloud9 Eclipse looks like they might want to go in here. This is dangerous. The dragon goes over. Pulse gets that one. But they created pressure everywhere. They got mid lane pushing. They got top lane pushing. They chose to start the fight, but they could have just killed 2 turrets instead.
I feel like they made the choice I was talking about. They were going to leave Mundo top and then try and go for the steal. You know, if we get it, then oh well. If we don't get it, then oh well. And at least we'll get 1 turret out of it. But because C9 decided to hard engage on them, they actually reacted so well with instantly calling Mundo to teleport down and then kiting out the melees there. Really good job by NIQ.
Very well played overall. 3, 1, and 0 on this Kayle. Having a great time of it. Lich Bane is soon to be done as well. And the build is completing more and more. Sunfire and Visage both done for Jokies. He's getting tankier and tankier. Ruin King soon done for Woolite. He's got the Cutlass and the Double Dagger so far. He's looking happy. And the Talisman of Ascension soon for Elendix. Pulse are powering up right now.
Now, the Talisman of Ascension is actually a pretty big power point. Since we talked about how they're relying so much on slows, that will be a huge part in them actually taking those team fights. Once he's able to complete that, then it will be a much more effective catching tool here for Pulse. Everybody wants this.
Wow,
buff.
Look at the damage up, but there blocks Ku's Vault Breaker. The ulti coming across. Trying to do what he can. Knocking back. Can Ku get out? Woolite jumps in. Can't. Oh, he gets the damage just barely.
Going back just in time to fire that last shot. Really well played by Pulse. Even though Forbidden did everything he could to try and save Ku, they lose out his life plus the blue buff here. Pulse doing a good job getting right back in this game here. Pretty much even now.
8-6 in kills, 700 gold deficit, but not much. NIQ getting around Odwamna. This is not a good thing for Shyvana. Dodges the cleaver, goes into Dragon for him, putting some damage across, but not going anywhere fast. Flashes the cleaver.
Now he's fast.
Wow.
Now he's
Q,
slow.
auto, one more. Gets him, NIQ taking him down. 9-6 now. Pulse
Plus,
pushing.
look, they can't make a move in mid either. Even though it's 3 versus 3, Vi had to recall, and they can't make any answer here. So it's just 100% win for Pulse right there. Wow. Getting the objective after, too. This is starting to look bad for Cloud9.
Very well played by these guys. Doesn't get stolen by the Q. So at least it's a big Wraith going over to Forbidden, but certainly not ideal overall for Cloud9. They've lost a lot of advantages here. And the team that was winning game 1 pretty well, looked very strong, won game 1 overall as well, and had such a good early game here. They've dropped everything now. Pulse has clawed everything back.
Ooh, we're seeing that interesting Lucian build that popped up over in Korea with the Trinity Force plus Blade of the Ruined King. Really skirmish-oriented build right there. And I don't know, as an AD carry player, how do you feel about the scaling of Lucian's culling with attack speed? Because,
yeah,
I mean, it's great, but I'm not really sold on that being like the best way to go with scaling it.
I like it pretty well. So I like Ruined King with Triforce. We'll see if no one dies real quick. If we're okay without fighting, I'll go into this for a second. Q running away. Looks like he'll be out safely. Okay, so Trinity Force only has 10% crit on it.
Yeah.
So I don't like conventional DPS builds if you go Trinity Force, because you're just missing out so much of that crit multiplier. So getting the standard AD and crit stats is not as good. Lucian gets 2 attacks every spell. And so he's going to get 3 free auto attacks on a standard rotation, meaning something like Blade of the Ruined King is really good. Because you do half damage,
like
but not
any
half
on
damage
hits,
on
right?
procs.
Yeah,
right.
any on hits.
Yeah, yeah.
Really good.
So I think it works really well in that case. You don't miss out on a lot of culling scaling, again, because of the attack speed there. Compared to if you were like Misfortune, you'd lose out on a lot more. So I think it works out pretty well. The fight's going to start right here. Stun on a Woolite. And then Eclipse getting away for now. Voidal dropping dangerously low. Flash is not sure he needed to, but he did. And they're just going to give up this turret right here. Pulse doing amazing.
Yeah, also Talisman is done here for Pulse. So from now on, when they get those catches, they can actually follow them up. So the slows are going to be plenty nowadays, as they've also been able to level them up there. So it's very, 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 very tough here for Cloud9 as they're trying to defend the secondary turret. They only have 3 members. This is dangerous. Because Mundo's full tank. He could go for the dive.
And look how fast his turret's going down. Only about 1/3 health left. The ulti from Greg is going to push back Pulse, but seems like they're ready to keep going.
Yeah, they want to stay here with the siege. You can see Mundo's chugging health potions on top of his ridiculous regen that he has inherently. Who's got his ulti up? Forbidden is down, so that's a really big tool from Cloud9 that they won't have to defend this.
Yeah,
and they're going to have to rely on wave clear, which is really strong.
Okay, comes up right then. There's the ulti in from Carol, and the fight has begun. Odwamna into the back line. Kick us in the front. Gonna see who goes down. Joki's locked up for now. NIQ forced back even farther. Odwamna's gonna get out just barely. Solar Flare misses everybody. Joki's still in this fight. Charnan trying to run away. Does get out. Dragon coming back in for this one. They're trying to escape. Joki's not gonna land a cleaver. 0 for 0, but a lot of low health bars.
And the reason that came out with no deaths is it was really well played by both Kale and Lee Sin. They protected each other's backs. Instantly, when the Vi ulti comes off, as we said, flashing light, Kale, ult that person, did that, block the damage. But then Lee Sin also comes back because Kale is now defenseless, having given up her ultimate for Lee Sin. He comes back to kick away Shyvana and save Kale from being dove at that point, since Kale is squishy at there. And they're able to have nobody die in that situation. Only thing for Pulse is they weren't able to finish off that dragon. Just one more hit needed to land before they got the actual exit.
Okay, but looks like Cloud9 Eclipse looking for something even trickier. Dragon's alive. And they're looking for the top lane. They're sneaking towards Baron.
Well, they've got that sucker time, so they can actually burn it down really quickly. And Pulse have no wards up there, so splitting for the dragon here means that their only small chance of taking it would be random abilities getting in.
Okay, they see this Kickus. He's staying for dragon. Pulse is going for the fight with their dragon goes down. Fight has begun. NIQ crushed right there. 1 for 0. Looking for Jokies now. Forbidden forced away. Just 1 kill for dragon so far. Good trade overall. Voidal now on the run, puts a shield on himself, still trying to run. Culling comes across, Lee Sin, get in that fight. Voidal doesn't go down, actually, he survives with the shield. Another kill picked up now on a Shyvana. 1-for-1 in this battle. Pulse just running forward now. Ku forced to run away for Bivin. Nowhere to help his team. Flashes in and does find Woolite. They turn that one around. Sharon cannot quite get the kill on the backside. 2 for 2 so far, plus the Dragon. Pulse another win.
Ooh, a win by a very small margin, though. And man, was that a beast Lulu ultimate. Knocking up 3 members there on the exit. It was just all it required to stop Cloud9 from taking that Baron were those 3 members. So Kikis having the confidence to finish off the Dragon meant that they did end up coming out with the gold lead, but really close fight right there. And we'll have to keep an eye on that Lulu ultimate, because we were talking about it in the last game how it has to be Mundo or Olaf running in there and then getting it. Mundo was able to run right in there and get into a great position, so they could very well just rely on that.
Well, it's worked so far from 11-8 now, 4,000 almost gold the lead here for Pulse. Turning this game 2 around quite nicely, and I gotta think you don't really want to let that Kale through anymore. He's been doing such a good job, NIQ 760. It's like, yeah, that's just a scary champion, and he's pulling a lot of weight for his team.
I like how they're working around him too, protecting him when his defenses are down, because they really do need his sustained damage. The champion is not just an ultimate there, as a lot of people reduce some champions to just their one big hit. Kale, the longer she stays alive, the better for your team, because that is a ridiculous amount of sustained magic damage, which is hard to come by.
It really is, but they've got it here, and it's not in the form of Karthus. It is Kale. Bivin grabbing another blue buff. They've been getting the buffs pretty securely so far in the late game here, so these haven't been stolen away. The Dragon, of course, we already saw that going down. Baron didn't end up getting touched very much. In the late game going better and better for Pulse, just switching back to the lanes for now.
Now, I'd like to see some more vision control actually from both teams. I mean, they both have 3 sweepers each, but especially this Cloud9 team, they have a lot of pick potential. So if they can control the wards, at least just even on their side of the jungle, then they have a really good opportunity of trying to catch out Pulse in a rotation and picking someone off, because they have so many tools here to grab somebody and punish them for poor positioning that it would be a really, really clear path for them to get back into the game.
We'll see what they do with this one, because Cloud9 Eclipse needs a little something to get themselves back in, but Pulse needs this win absolutely to stay in the tournament. Top lane split push for NIQ. Ku looks for him, doesn't find. Mid lane getting sieged, and of course the Mundo split push there as well. Odwamna's going to sit against that. And, you know, we talked about the lane going so well for Odwamna's Shyvana. Ooh, they're going to pitch on mid.
It's a pretty good collapse here. Can they actually catch him? Okay, there's 1, 2.
Final Lennox, good CC, down to half HP. Lulu still taking damage. Dragon shows up in that fight. He's going to knock in Woolite, and he's going to flash away. Dragon shows up. He's going to get the slow body slam, lands. Double kill so far for Bivin. Great collapse.
And the pick skills on display right there. Called it out right before Ku's able to get in range of his Assault and Battery, and then easily followed up by both Bivin and Voidal. Oh, he's going to get...
Gets found, dying to red buff. Goodbye, Ku picking that one up. And now Baron's getting started. Only 2 members alive and no smites for either side right now, actually.
Last time, though, we saw Kale able to almost scare them off by himself. It's a lot of magic damage increase when you're in the Baron pit, too.
Wow, Voidal does drop down. NIQ still alive. Has the ulti right there. Odwamna and Ku trying to do the damage. Can they? Flash away by Kale. Chase in by Odwamna. Can he do it? No! Lichbane proc picks up a double kill. Ku still looking, doesn't find. Fabivin, Kjarnan trying to take down Jokies. Mundo tanky, 1,300 health left on him. Still the chase. Body slam up. Lands that one. Oh,
and blasted.
Man! Kale 7-2-1. So they got a 3 for 0.
Yeah.
Started Baron, got 3 for 0.
So leaving up the AP carry of your opponents is what makes going for Baron super dangerous. Mundo also does magic damage, but the buff that Baron stacks on you stacks 10 times. That gets up to 250% extra magic damage. And Pulse were able to take advantage of it right there. Just 2 members doing enough to stop the C9 team. Now the tables have turned.
Kjarnan's trying to stop him now, but he's a little bit more alone than last time. They're going to look for the Baron steal. Not going to get it. Picked up there by Kikis. Pulse looking great now. 6,000 gold in the lead. They've got a gigantic Kale.
All right, so death cap completed. Once he gets that void staff, then there's not a whole lot you can even do to avoid the damage, and you have to just land CC on him and actually kill him to stop yourselves from dying.
See if you can even do it. Down goes the big Wraith. And IQ getting richer and richer in this game. 4 big items done for Forbidden's Gragas. To be fair, he's 4-1-4. So in terms of kill participation, it's actually kind of the same. He's just not getting the last hits, but that mid laner also has been around in these kills. Just, I feel like Kale's one-shotting people so crazily right now.
Yeah, Gragas does have really high burst potential, but we keep pointing out the sustained damage of Kale because of the Lich Bane and the auto attacks. She'll do a lot more over the course of one of those long fights like we just saw around Baron. And he's having a really big impact here. He did just finish that Void Staff, so now even magic resistance is not going to save you.
Maybe health. See if they go for some of that. Kikis soloing the dragon again. He got one before in a big team fight they won. He's still looking pretty happy in this one. Big wave going to the bottom lane. That's going to be NIQ picking that one up. Looks like Pulse putting a lot of eggs in that Kale basket and saying, you're going to get more farmed, you're going to get level 18. You already are level 18, but you're going to get more items. You're going to keep carrying us here. So far, it's working for him.
Pulse also have a ridiculously tanky Mundo here. He's gone blade mail on top of his 3 main defensive items, so he can just run down this Caitlyn. Main objective is just stay in her face.
Well, ulti in onto Alendix. Good flash gets him away, but Joki's now in the front line. Gets Lulu ulted, just gigantic Mundo, soaking up all the damage. Oh my gosh, the burst. Kick is now in the front line. Still the damage onto Mundo. He's just running at Caitlyn. She's got nowhere to go. Kale on the backside, jumped on by Ku. A little bit of damage there. Woolite picks up with Dwam, the 2-for-0 in this fight. Make that 3-for-0 as Kale picks up another one. This is not good for Cloud9 Eclipse. Forbidden trying to get away. Ward on top, spots it. Q lands by Kikis. Will he go? He will. Damage output, not enough. Killed off there. Nice pick up there.
And Mundo's got more life now than when it started. So he is ridiculous. As we said, he was able to get to Caitlyn, and then there was no escape for her. So it went pretty much as expected. They dumped a lot of damage there into Mundo early. It was a good idea from Cloud9. They wanted to make a pick while they had somebody out of position, and they changed targets from Lulu to Mundo after she got out of the way. At the point where you're attacking Mundo at the beginning of the fight, though, that's where it's gone downhill, and they didn't have very many options left for them. It's really just Pulse cleaning up extra global gold now. 3 turrets.
Oh man, so much picked up here. 1 inhibitor goes down, second one likely to follow. 3 seconds until a lot of the revives here. 3 on 5 right now, making that 4 on 5 this second. And it's going to be Pulse saying, all right, we're going to take mid and bottom, then we'll reset.
2 inhibitors is a pretty big reward there.
Yeah.
I feel like the next push here from Pulse is going to be definitive. They can easily just go purchase, and then everyone flood top lane while double super minions take out the Nexus turrets.
Let's see if they can find that one. Right now it is blue buff. Yeah, why not? Started buff by Woolite. He's going to take that one. And Hughes doesn't need that blue buff. He got one in the retreat from the base. I believe he stole that from Cloud9 Eclipse, so he's happy. And the whole map is getting swept out right now, real quick by Pulse. There's the recalls. And we will see if they go for the game-winning push now. They won't have Baron buff next time around, so that is one thing they'll be missing. It's about the timeout right here.
The team fights are the answer for Mundo here is really hard to come up with, because Shyvana will dive the back line of Pulse. We just saw she goes down way quicker than they can hope to even scratch the surface of Mundo's health bars here, since he can rely on that ultimate to get him right back up. So it's really going to have to be them catching somebody out once again. Cloud9 have to pick somebody off. It has to be a positional mistake from Pulse. And, you know, the opportunity is there now since they're spreading out and pushing all 3 lanes at once. But it would have to be a very decisive call from Cloud9 to go for it now. Every second you wait, the super minions get closer and closer to your Nexus turret, at which point your options are all gone.
So the clock is ticking right now for Cloud9 Esports. Pulse looks for the top lane. They're going to get this one pretty securely. Voidal down to half HP. God. Look at that damage output. And this chase still on. Whew. Well, that's going to make things harder.
Late game Lich Bane auto attacks there from Kale. it just, the extra AP scaling from a Lich Bane just puts that champion over the top. And the late game is beastly.
He's pretty scary right here. Here we go. Top lane now getting sieged on. Looks like Cloud9 Eclipse still defending the bottom. That's going to be hard. Then going down. The jump in on Akikis might matter, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Kale actually gets dropped. He dies without getting to ult at all. This could be the fight that Cloud9 Eclipse needs. Joki's in the front, but there's no AD carry for C9E. Odwamna does live. The chase still onto Mundo, trying to get away, getting slowed and slowed and slowed again, but might make it. No, Ku still chasing and just, not enough. Their base is getting crushed right now. They've got to defend this.
Yeah, so they still lose the Nexus turret there. The mistake there from Kale, costing them... Oh, I actually didn't see. Was he locked down the entire time?
Probably by Gragas Shyvana, I would assume.
Yeah, he might have been CC'd the entire time. So we could give him the benefit of the doubt and say that he did not misplay his ultimate. But the chance is definitely there, and the results are clear that, even with the Nexus turrets going down, they still came out ahead for Pulse. Even with that mishap with Kale's ulti. Yeah,
definitely the case here. C9E trying to hold on. Baron up in 50 seconds. Dragon in about a minute. Their inhibitors back very soon as well. I think even by the time that those things respawn. So the gold lead, of course, still massive, but there's the chance that C9E stabilizes here and finds their way back in. We'll see if this happens. Sweeping away minions still for Bivin, getting massive and massive and massive and massive. 4, 2, and 5. One more item slot to fill up. We'll see if that means much for him.
So with the inhibitors respawning soon, though, it just means that Pulse can return to a open inhibitor and not have to fight around a turret. Cloud9 can't even retreat back to their Nexus turret because the bottom one is already gone. So they're very far away from a defensive structure, and it puts a lot of pressure on them to try and keep vision of Baron while also defending their exposed inhibitors.
See if they can do it. Inhibs are back up. Mundo split push on the bottom. Ku getting hit a little bit. They look for Kikis. They find some damage. Has to jump in. Ku knocked into the team. Goes down fast. 5 versus 4. Kikis taking a bunch of pain. Can he die? Hjarnan gonna find that. Outsmarts him. Takes the kill. Now looking for a Lendix. A lot of pain coming across. Another kill picked up by NIQ on the other side of the map, and down goes the AD carry. Woolite securing that one. Now it's a 4 versus 2 on the map. This looks very good for Pulse.
Oh, he's going for something here, but it's not going to work.
Nope. I think he had a... Yeah, that wasn't very happy.
Yeah, well, Kale right there, not taking any chances. Real early this time, just in case. But that was pretty much the way we expected that one to go after the huge lead that Pulse have been able to accrue. So now that should be game number 2 in favor of Pulse, and we shall see a game 3, Freak.
We shall see a game 3, guys. Pulse going in for the Nexus right now. Last turret gonna be fallen. And yeah, there's no way Cloud9 Eclipse holds on to this one. Pulse making it 1-1. Extremely well played by NIQ. 10, 3, and 3 in that game. Gotta say, it's a pretty massive performance there by that mid laner.
You were saying at the beginning that you were sad you haven't seen the Mundo Shyvana's matchups in a little while.
Yeah, that's been at least a day.
That's the reason why we see so much Mundo. We just went right there. In the late game, his tankiness is amplified so much since he has all the regen that he could stick on Caitlyn forever. He literally ran through the entire team and just sat on Caitlyn until she died. Whereas Shyvana, you can actually kill Shyvana late game.
Yeah.
While as Mundo, they didn't have any options.
Yeah, I felt like I wanted to question actually the choices by Odwamna to actually dive in on those fights, because if he sat there and said, "Well, I'm Blade of the Ruined King and have Flame Breath, which is % health damage," and just hit Mundo a bunch, like, probably could do a better job than what he did in the fights.
Well, really, there's 2 options: you dive the enemy backline or you peel. Diving is not working, so go with the other option.
Yeah,
at least try it out.
Yeah, try it out. Of course, Mundo dove pretty well for himself, and that, by the way, was in Champs like when I was like, they always ban Kassadin. It's like, well, you have a Kale like that, and clearly the mid lane bans didn't do anything for you. And that's why I'm like, well, maybe you don't always ban this, because if they still have the champions that are going to perform that well at late game anyway, that are hard to kill, that are going to 2v4 you at Baron and kill 3 of you, I feel like you either go all out or you just say forget it.
That was definitely a big turning point in the game, that Baron call. Cloud9, they had a good teamfight win, and then all being trapped in Baron with the 2 solo lanes up, Mundo and Kale. After that fight, and it pretty much went all sour for them.
Yeah, it was pretty rough for these guys. And of course, you come into game 3, you've got to make adaptations. Cloud9 Eclipse going to be back on blue side. You're going to have Pulse back on red. Now, what did work for them, to be fair, was even when Kale was up there, they stole away the Lee Sin pick, had a bit more presence from the jungle. I feel like they won that lane harder and won their other lanes a bit more, and they were snowballing from that point.
Double buff level 4 Kale. Yes, that's doing good.
Yeah.
That's great work, guys.
Yeah, so I feel like that's an adaptation that needs to be made, is like remove the Kale Lee Sin because it just doesn't get removed. She just scales up and crushes you. And Pulse, they want to secure that as much as possible. Their bottom lane's working just fine with, I don't want to say lower priority picks. Obviously, Lucian and Jinx both are really sought after AD carries, but like, I don't think I'm really going to see a Lulu ban come through. Like, does Cloud9 like look hardcore to remove Pulse's bottom lane and really make a Lendix like uncomfortable? Does that even work? Like, can you stack ban mid? Do you remove the Mundo? Like, what are the options here?
Yeah, I mean, if they go for the earlier lanes, like taking Shyvana into Mundo is saying like, yeah, I want early game, I'll give you late game. Then you have to build your team strategy around ending it in early or mid game.
Yeah.
Or at least having a ridiculously large gold lead by that time.
Yeah.
Or else you're going to run into this problem here. So if you can't do that, then you switch your composition more to a later game composition and pick up somebody like Fiora that will guarantee you teamfight wins. No, I'm just kidding. But yes.
Against a Kale, though, I feel like that's less likely. She'll just ult it. And
only protects one. You're killing the entire team at the same time. Her ulti AoE with that Tiamat.
All right. Well, we'll see it, guys. Fiora's coming up. Now, we've got to take a quick break, but when we come back, it's the final game in this best of 3.